So this is the Lexus LBX, and yes, it's small, and yes, I'm big, but this is the smallest and cheapest Lexus available, and it's a hybrid. Can a Lexus hybrid at this price with looks this good live up to the Lexus nameplate? Let's find out in this, our full review. So this is the Lexus LBX. How is it to drive? Well, in terms of powertrain, it has a 1.5-liter gasoline engine. It's 3 cylinders, by the way, and it's paired in parallel hybrid with electric motors. Ironically, the electric motors do have more power than the gasoline engine. So thankfully, the two work together to give you a decent driving experience in terms of power. You have about 134 combined horsepower, which admittedly isn't a lot. So because of the electric motor's torque, acceleration from about 60 to 90 is quite good. The problem here is when you're going about 90 to 100, maybe a little bit beyond that, especially on the highway or provincial roads, it does kind of run out of steam above that speed. That's because the gasoline engine just doesn't have the power to carry you there. It does have a top speed of 170 kilometers an hour. We didn't test it, but other than that, the car does perform decently. The transmission in this car they call an eCVT. It's not actually a CVT. There's no belts or pulleys, but it does simulate gears using a planetary gear style system, which is common in Toyota and Lexus hybrids, and it's very reliable and doesn't have as much rubber banding as most traditional CVTs. In terms of suspension, it's quite well damped. I wouldn't say it's Lexus's best offering in terms of driving feel or in terms of comfort, but it does hold the road quite well. And Lexus is kind of getting known now for cars that are dynamic and fun to drive. And this one, I would say, is one of my favorite Lexuses to drive because it's quite nimble, it's quite small. Yes, you only have a torsion bar in the back, but in terms of handling and handling feel, it is quite fun to drive. It does become a momentum car because you don't have that much power, but when you can keep the speed up, it can take corners quickly and fast, and it does perform quite well. Now, one of the highlights of the car, because it's a hybrid, is the fuel economy. We've gotten as high as 27 kilometers per liter in normal driving. That's a little bit of a mix, about 70% highway, 30% city driving. But 27 kilometers per liter is quite impressive for a car that doesn't have a plug-in system, that doesn't have a larger battery. It actually still uses nickel metal hydride. But again, unlike lithium, nickel metal hydride is a little bit more stable. It's a little bit longer lasting, which, you know, you're trading off some performance for a lot of reliability, which I think is a hallmark of Toyota and Lexus. The electric vehicle mode doesn't really work as an EV mode. In fact, it works most reliably from speeds of 0 to 40 kilometers an hour, which is great because that's when the gasoline engine is at its most inefficient. But anything above that speed, all the way till 80, you can kind of get the electric motors to work for you and still run as an EV with a very light throttle. But this car is really meant to work in tandem with the gasoline engine. It's not meant to be a full EV. You do have an EV mode button here, but really it's just to get out of the driveway quietly in the morning. Maybe you get about 4 or 5 kilometers, but that's been standard with Lexus for quite a while now. Now, in terms of driving features, you do have paddle shifters here, which lets you shift through the gears. Not sure why you'd like that with such a small engine, but the feature is there at least for regenerative braking and also engine braking, which is a handy feature because they don't have the usual B mode in the transmission in this iteration. The car has a full suite of ADAS, which is something we'd love to see, especially at this price point. You have lane centering and radar-guided cruise control, as well as automatic emergency braking. So that's basically how it drives. Let's take a closer look at this interior. So now we're sitting here in the interior of the Lexus LBX, and you have some very nice materials here. You have Alcantara, you have very soft touch leather here, and nice vents and other touch points. Now the steering wheel, yes, it's a little bit of a soft, smooth leather, but overall it's pretty good. You have controls here for your radar guided cruise control, and you have controls here to control the infotainment system. Infotainment system up here in front, as you can see, it's got a lot of features like a G meter, you've got your energy monitor, but overall it's a responsive system very good 7-inch screen, and it combines with this one. This is a 9.8-inch screen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and overall, honestly, it's quite responsive and we like it very much. What we don't like is that the aircon system, the fan controls and some of the AC controls are here in the screen. We'd prefer buttons, but at least they give you control over temperature through the buttons down here. In terms of charging, you have a Qi wireless charger here. It works, but it also makes your phone quite hot. Thankfully, there's USB-C ports, USB-C, all the things. You have 1, 2, and 3 ports right here. And these ports let you charge most other gadgets easily. In terms of cup holders and storage, you have a cup holder here, which fits a normal sized cup. And when you look around, there's actually another one down here. This one's in the center console, and it can be removed if you need the extra space, of which there is quite a lot in this one. So what do we feel about the interior of the Lexus LBX? It's actually quite nice. It's quite well built. You've got Alcantara seats. It's quite comfy. The driver's side is electrically adjustable. The passenger side is manual. But overall, one of the problems we had with the, problems I had with the Toyota Yaris Cross is the interior always felt a little bit too scratchy for me. And I feel that in terms of layout, Lexus did a very good job in making this really feel upmarket. So that's the front seat. Let's move on to the back. So this is the back seat of the Lexus LBX. And I think you can see the problem. I'm 6'2". This is me in my driving position. And there's no space. Oh God, there's nothing. There's no space behind myself. My feet do fit underneath, but I have no headroom, and this is not a comfy position. Thankfully, you do have USB-C ports here, 2 more, which brings the total count to 5 USB-C ports for probably children, I guess. So this is Billy. He will try to fit behind my driving position.
Oh, bro.
So he's got a little bit of space, a little bit of headroom, no issues with headroom. In terms of knee room, just none. So really, this back seat is really for kids, more or less. So I just can't fit in the back, but thankfully, these back seats, for children at least, it's pretty good. In terms of trunk space, let's go check that out, shall we, please? Now let's move on to the trunk space of the Lexus LBX. And frankly, like the back seat, it can be a bit limiting. Now, there is a cutout here on the left and here on the right to be able to, well, they say to put a golf bag. We will try with this one, which is a standard golf bag. And while one side goes in, unfortunately, there's just no way for this to go into the other side. Maybe we take out the driver and see if it goes in then. Oh, shots. It actually does fit, minus the driver. But like, you know, this one you can just like toss in. You can't even toss it in. It's okay. This goes in the back seat. It was a struggle, but we were able to fit a standard golf bag. It can fit 1 golf bag without a driver, no problem. 2 golf bags or with a driver, that's a pipe dream. So in terms of usability, as a back seat, to be fair, it's not that bad because you can fold the back seats down. So you have buttons here, left and right, and that would fold the seats down, which means now you can load your golf bag through the flat loading floor all the way up to the back seat. And as you can see, it has a lot more space. In fact, you can load up 2 golf bags all the way there, and you have space for other things here. Now, is it the most usable boot? Not really, honestly. It's a bit tight, but with the seats folded flat, you can load a lot, which is fine, because as you could see, the seats are a little bit useless in this car. Now, the tailgate, electric. You saw it go up a while ago. Easy to go down now. So that brings us to the looks of the Lexus LBX, and I think this is where Lexus really did a good job. As you can see here, it is a very unique front. This one looks a little bit Camry-esque to me, but the spindle grille implications here, well, they did it quite well. In terms of the looks of the car overall, if you come around here, you'll see that the wheel tire combo looks pretty good. You have some black cladding here, which I think most car companies are doing now for their SUVs, even those that are never going to go off-road. And you have some black cladding that continues here. One of the highlights of the car for me is the fact that it's two-tone. You have a black roof with whatever body color you get. So the interesting combinations we've seen, the yellow with a black roof, the white with a black roof, they look pretty good. Now, coming around to the back of the car, it's one of those other things that we feel is also a highlight of the car because you have nice Lexus lettering here, simple LBX logo here, and a nice long tail light there. Overall, I think in terms of design, the car comes out very nice, very handsome, and punches above its weight class, at least in terms of its pricing. So that's the Lexus LBX. Let's go on to its pricing. It's 2.558 million pesos, so 2,558,000. It might sound like a lot until you realize the CR-V hybrid is also more expensive than it. It's about the price of a Camry hybrid. And when you think about that, and you think about what Lexus can offer, it might be a good deal, and we find that it is. Let's go through some pros and some cons of the car. The first pro, obviously, is the looks. We like how it looks. It looks quite handsome, very compact, very sporty, even if it's just really a hybrid at the end of the day. The second thing we like, the fuel economy is amazing. 27 kilometers per liter sounds like a lot because it is. And 27 kilometers per liter while you're driving like a normal person is something that we appreciate in a car. The third pro we can mention is that it does handle quite well. It's a momentum car a little bit, so when you're driving it, you want to keep the speed up. But overtaking seems to be no problem. The electric motors are quite efficient and quite powerful, from 60 to 90 kilometers an hour. And that means that you won't have problems driving this in the city and should be fine for, let's say, a provincial road. And the last pro we find is that it might be the cheapest Lexus, but it doesn't feel it, at least inside and on the outside. It looks good and it has a good feeling interior. Now let's go through some cons. The first con is obviously, as you saw, the rear seat and the cargo space. The rear seat is basically unusable for me. I'm 6'2", so only children can fit behind me. In terms of the cargo space, yes, you can fold down the seats, and yes, you can probably finagle a golf bag in, but we wish that it was just a little bit wider or a little bit longer. And the second con we have is, honestly, we find that Lexus' hybrid system, although reliable and although decent in performance, is a little bit lagging in terms of its performance compared to other plug-in hybrids or other hybrid systems of the same ilk. However, the nice thing about that is Lexus is known for its reliability, and I think that the use of a nickel metal hydride battery and an older but more reliable hybrid system is something that they chose on purpose. So, at the end of the day, this is Lexus's cheapest offering, but it sure doesn't feel it. And for that, we'd give it a 9 out of 10.